2, 1. Greetings, agent. Prepare your defenses. Initiating match.
Okay, so apparently my client, I really underestimate, like, how much space this game really takes up. Is it's also built with the Unity engine, just like AQ3D and Genshin Impact. I remember when I initially downloaded the test client that it takes up at least a few hours of time in order to get it downloaded. But I had to uninstall it due to running out of space on my computer, but I don't know, it's just that it's hard for me, personally, like right now, to feel any sort of, I don't know, anything about this game in general when, in reality, I feel like a good amount of the development has, like, detracted from what initially it was made to be. We can also go ahead and turn on some more background music. Okay, this sounds a little bit more giddy, but that's okay. I'm still getting things ready. I'm just waiting for the client to actually update so I can hopefully launch the game properly. So it's gonna take a little bit. I'm also looking on Steam for any on-sale games in the meantime. Whoopsie daisies, I accidentally opened something up. Okay, so it just says less than a minute remaining. Maybe I'll turn on the stream avatars feature again once we have, well, I'm gonna wait till, again, the main concern right now is that we need to reestablish a community here. It took me a brain farting moment to realize that the camera part of my avatar is not working. That's how the face tracking works. It requires a camera. This is one of those days where, I mean, I had a decent enough amount of sleep, but I don't know. I'm probably just back in some kind of slump. And the more I like look at and listen to myself from how I started streaming, it's just, I don't know. It's hard for me to force myself to be back into the person that I started out to be, when I just had different beginnings that I couldn't be able to maintain up till now. And every content creator has gone through ups and downs, but right now, for me, it feels like it's just been on a continuous period of just going down. Like, I'm probably doing even worse than a streamer who probably has, like, much more followers than me, probably much more followers than me and just suddenly declining as well. There's always a period of time where a content creator is just declining and whatnot. It's probably just that content creation is just exhausting in general from one person alone. Okay, the client is working again. Might as well get our own Stream Raiders battle going. I think I'm also going to take a break from logging on to Marvel Strike Force because that's just another game's daily systems that can take up a bunch of my time. I mean, it's not exactly... I already have like so much free currency on that game that I don't spend. In comparison to Genshin Impact, where it's just so minimal to get any freebies worth of pulls, that I feel it's more primarily important for me to get myself and grind for the free currency that I need in order to do the pulls in Genshin Impact, more so than Marvel Strike Force, because Marvel Strike Force can award you with so much freebies that, honestly, a lot more than Genshin Impact. Plus, I already have like so much characters to work with on Marvel Strike Force that I can just take my time with it. Oh, I just need to place 2 monks. Who do I need to work on? Berserker, Paladin, and Bomber. Okay, let's see where we're going this time. Because I want to maximize the amount of gold chests that we get, so this is 3 gold chests. Four gold chests here. Okay, so I guess we're gonna go this... Let's see, what do we want to do? Orc War or Giant Melee? I think I'll go for Giant Melee first. Should be pretty easy. Yeah, this is definitely very easy material. I think I'll put my monk in one of the silver levels, honestly. Let's go ahead and start with... Actually, did you stream lately, Kiba? I feel like we haven't done the shout out thing in a long time. Actually, let's see like what sort of videos that the Artcraft, the Crowfall YouTube channel has put up lately, because I haven't like.
Wow, that's really.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I don't say anything yet because it's not over. Oh,
Margaret Bencher
my
wins.
goodness, no
Berserker
way.
lose.
Margaret
Howdy.
What? Come on. Wow. Good job. I
know how to go.
impressed. That was impressive. Wow. So.
Okay, I got it. I got the window up. Eternal Heroes, Dying Worlds. I think this is like the latest like gameplay the trailer video. I think it's also presented in the game. I know they had like all these sorts of events going on in their test servers, but I really have not been paying attention because it's really all heavily PvP. I think at the end of the day, this is mainly just a PvP title.
Once, we were like children. Foolish, but happy. That was before we learned that our gods could die. Gaia, the Earth Mother, wellspring of life. We found her broken and bleeding, and with her last breath, our world was shattered. We call it the Hunger, for that is what it does. It consumes. Then came the wars. Brutal, desperate, and endless. When the gods are angry, mortals pay the price. Some of us pay it more than once. My lord's offer was simple. Eternal life for eternal service. I am immortal, chosen by the gods to pick over the bones of this dying world, to bring them glory, wealth, and power. I am not alone. There are others. We do not love them, but we serve them. For they are our gods. We are their crows.
Here's one thing I will say for sure. Okay, first of all, if anybody's played Pirates 101 or Wizard 101, I'm fairly certain that is the voice of Gortez, / that guy has done a lot of different voices for King's Owl Entertainment, and no doubt that J. Todd Coleman had got him on board to do this narration. I could definitely recognize his voice from anywhere, even if I haven't played Wizard 101 or Pirates 101 in a long time. And second of all, the artwork is beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. The graphics... Oh, okay, let's actually log into the game. Let's log into the actual game. Why don't we take a look at the actual game? As soon as the test client decides to go up, I will go ahead and make sure OBS is screen capturing this, if the graphical settings permit us to do so. There we go. Yeah, if it's a game of like constant PvP like a Battlegrounds, then I can understand that the discontent. It's totally understandable. Okay, so game capture should be working. I have a loading icon at the bottom of my screen. Whenever it decides to work. I think I just like logged on as I was trying to make sure it's working, and then it just decides to play the intro video, which is the video that I played from YouTube. Then I just Alt F4'd out of there. Well, actually, let's gauge a few things for the finalization of how the game is, presentation-wise, mechanic-wise, UI design-wise. I assume there's going to be a major amount of lagging. Due to how... I don't know how much people they want to pack into a server. Because at the end of the day, it's still up to the company themselves and how much they want their server to contain. Like, do they want to have the server expanded upon a certain amount of players? Because now the company has to factor in the amount of players that have decreased from their Kickstarter campaign to their official launch now. Because at this point, a bunch of people fell off the Crowfall bandwagon because of their shifts in development, etc., etc., etc. There we go. So the intro video was, we already played it, and it looks like they have the campaign sorted out and everything. And I do not have any sound playing. Wait, where's my sound? Hold on. I need to access my settings. Why do we not have settings? Ah, okay. I have my testing items. I'm not gonna lie. They have like, it looks like they have improved the UI a little bit. It does look a little bit more unique. Not gonna lie. My main concern is right now I do not have any settings. Where are my settings? There's literally no sounds playing. Okay, there we go. So, what are we looking at now? We have full screen window, borderless window. Audio is... Oh, so literally the main menu does not have any audio. Interesting. Very interesting. Input, UI. Okay, full screen mode. Can I just put this at... There we go. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. That is what we're looking for. Okay, so by the least of it, it looks like I could go back and forth between my my game window as well as OBS very clearly. So at least they were able to like optimize the functionality of the graphics settings. Let's take a look at here. VSync is on, overall quality level. Let's leave it at medium. Shadow quality level, let's drag it down to the lowest because I don't really care about shadows. Sure, let's turn on some blood. I don't really care about this. Advanced settings. Let's see how we're looking for advanced settings. Particles on. Max visible effects 100. Cull objects dynamically on. Override cull quality. Cull distance. They really don't have a lot of graphical settings. But I mean, it's a game made with Unity, so I don't really expect too much settings, to be honest. And of course, this is not a type of game that a lot of people would be interested. There's no master volume. That's interesting. I feel like the more flexible the volume settings should be, like, much more feasible it can be to, like, have the game be played. Alright, let's see. I think everything else should be okay. Alright, let's go ahead and make a new character. Okay, so originally it was like specific classes to specific races. Now apparently that's not the case, so now we have to select a race and we have to select specific classes. It's loading apparently. Okay, so the graphics have been polished a little bit. I think last time I was playing as a Fae, because I was testing out their latest release Frostweaver class. Okay, this is still kind of bare bones, not gonna lie. Elkin. I need to turn on some background music. Like... Let's turn on some Valhalla menu music. I feel like Assassin's Creed Valhalla has some appropriate tracks we could use for now. Pretty standard fare. Centaur! Really, really bare bones. I'm assuming because I have medium graphics on. It kind of reminds me low-key of, what's that one game for Ubisoft called? Oh, Immortals Phoenix Rising. These kind of graphic style now kind of give me the vibe of Immortals Phoenix Rising. Heck, we can even play as a Minotaur. For some reason. Huh. Apparently Minotaurs are an actual civilization in this game. Wood Elf. Well, pretty standard fare. The thing is with like character creation is that any characters I made in the past really do not get saved. Because campaigns are temporary. And they've been running on that kind of system for a while. And the only thing that's permanent is your Eternal Kingdom. Your own campaign, your own personal campaign map where you can build your own kingdom. There's the half-giant here. Wait, hold on. Champion. Cleric. I should actually pick a playstyle that matches me. Probably assassin. Ranger can go actually melee or ranged. Can swap between bow and arrow and dagger. Assassin is pure damage stacking and let's see. And stealth and use of stealth. And then there's the guinea pig. You know what's interesting? This specific class is still specific to this one race. For some reason. Like, literally this class is still specific to the guinea pig race. I have no idea why. Don't ask me why. You would think that after all this time... Wait, hold on a second. Let's double check. If we look at all the other races... Literally, if you want to use a gun, you actually have to be a guinea pig in order to use a gun. Here I thought they would actually, like, make a change to that. I guess they don't. I guess they haven't. That is so weird. At least their main menu is pretty defined. Okay, let me see here. Myrmidon is... I think this is the Berserker playstyle. I think this is the class that has the rage mechanic. You would know, Kiba, because the Berserker class has a rage mechanic and whatnot. Lower the HP, higher the damage, etc, etc, etc. I would not mind playing the Berserker, but picking a Minotaur as a Myrmidon feels very typical. Let's take a look if any other classes would suit my fancy. Templar, I'm believing, is the class that's a melee healer. Yeah, kind of in a way like Paladin. In a way, it's like Paladin. Wood Elf is a druid. It's like, in a way, it's kind of like a healing support class. And then you also have the Frost... Actually, let me take a look at what the Frostweaver does again. That's the last class I was testing. Use Cryomancy to cover the battlefield with ice. Can weave ice to lock down or damage an enemy or heal allies and restore the resources. Ice is summoned forth the location they choose or can be restored with their ice stores to allow them to adapt to an ever-shifting battlefield. So in a way, the Iceweaver is... the Frostweaver is kind of a controller class. They can heal, they can freeze, they can do AoE. So this is a controller class, if anything. So I don't think I will like this playstyle if I try to return to it, because this is the class I played last time. Ranger's pretty straightforward. You do ranged physical damage, and when you're out of arrows, you do melee physical damage. Pretty straightforward fare. Their dagger power is not, of course, on board as the assassin, or not as on par as the assassin, of course. Magic Legends is getting shut down? No, I can imagine it's because of the competition. Knight is the pretty much typical tank melee class. Oh, they gave him a beer this time. Pretty straightforward. Cleric is the melee support. In a way, I think this is a bit more extensive as similar to the Paladin, because there's the Templar and then there's the Cleric. I feel like Cleric actually does healing to a more extensive extent. I feel like the Templar is like a mix of, a mix between Knight and the Cleric. Thank you for the Epic Monk post-age. High Elf, Confessor. I think this one's the straightforward damage dealing mage. Pretty straightforward. Let's see, everything. What class have I not explored yet? Champion, I believe, is a... This is mostly a selfish damaging class. So these guys have the rage mechanic, while we also have the Myrmidon here. So Champion, in a way, is tankier. So I guess you could say that Myrmidon and Champion have their own specific rage mechanics. Myrmidon is more of a loose glass cannon, while Champion can actually have the ability to tank. I might actually go for the Champion, honestly. So last time I was playing as a cleric centaur, because the centaur originally was built as a support healer class, but then afterwards they separated race and classes into their own things. But this time I'm actually going to go as a champion centaur. So by the least of it, I can actually deal... Well, I could also go for a knight, but the thing is with the knight, Let's actually use the champion. I feel like with the champion we can use the best of both worlds. We could heal ourselves as a champion, we can still deal damage, and I'm thinking later along the skill tree we can be able to tank some damage. And apparently there's not a lot of character customization. Definitely not a lot. I would have expected more, but everybody's going to look the same at the end of the day. I'm gonna be a black stallion. Yeah, let's look like a typical centaur for now. Alright, so these are how the campaigns work. We have our player worlds, our eternal kingdoms. This is where we bring our rewards back over and build our kingdom from. This is the starting world. This is the faction versus faction, guild versus guild, and then you have, yeah... Originally, there was like there were more extensive campaigns, but it's still pretty standard fare. Oh, you know what happened? I think I know what happens because I actually muted the game. That's why. That's what happened.
I found her broken and bleeding, and with her last breath, our world was shattered. We call it the hunger, for that is what it does. It consumes. Then came the wars.
I'm hitting the escape key, and the escape key is not working.
And endless. When the gods are angry, mortals pay the price. Some of us pay it more than once. My lord's offer was
I will say, this is really beautiful artwork, though. I like it.
I am immortal, chosen by the gods to pick over the bones of this dying world, to bring them glory, wealth, and power. I am not alone. There are others. We do not love them, but we serve them, for they are our gods. We are their crows.
Yeah, the skip button does not work. They need to fix that. Okay, so what does the actual menu music sound like? I don't know, maybe I could pick a separate character. Why the heck not? Why the heck not? Hey, I like this little one. He smiles. Let's have that illustrious white hair. Okay, so God's Reach is here. I'm not gonna go into factions yet, so let's see how we look here. You know why the guinea pigs has a gun? Why is that, Kiba? Alright, let's see how the presentation is right now. Let's see if we can run this... if we could finally run this game at least decently, at least properly. This game is also made with Unity. You know what else is made with Unity? VTubing software, AQ3D, Genshin Impact. Actually, a lot of great softwares have been made with Unity lately. It's starting to rise as a really amazing engine for game development. You know what would be... You know what would be interesting? If they actually can... If they actually have the team, the resources to actually import the visual style of Pirates 101 and Wizard 101 over to Unity, but that's going to take some effort and work. And the current company of KingsIsle doesn't have that right now, because of course they lost more team members. Now they're the smallest team they could ever be, ever since the layoffs in 2016. I don't really like to talk about this stuff, but the CEO of Artcraft Entertainment and some of the employees at the company previously worked with KingsIsle Entertainment. Alright. Oh god, oh god. How many frames per second am I running on? It looks like we're capping at 30 frames per second. Well, at least I'm as a Centaur, I'm a mobile class. So... one of the main issues of, this game is that, concerns and whatnot, whatever you want to call it. Hold L shift to sprint in combat mode. Sprinting drains stamina. Of course we have a stamina bar here. It's a pain for AQ Worlds? Oh boy.
Light of Archon! Another crow has risen. My name's Guillermo the Light Planter. Tender of the flames, steward of this resurrection chamber. You are a crow and eternal champion of the gods. The gods have lifted the burden of immortality from you, seeming never, forever wage war on their behalf, against both the all-devouring hunger and fellow crows. Okay, typical MMO menu. The body now possesses simply a conduit for your power, a vessel for your domitable spirit. That's right, in this game you can actually own multiple bodies. To view information about your vessel, you can open your character sheet by pressing I. Earth Sentinel, Guardians can you starting your journey. And we're back in tutorial territory, apparently. You know what's really interesting? The original design is that we were not going to have levels in this game.
Welcome, Crow. You must be shaken after your long slumber. There's much knowledge to impart upon you, but so little time. The tides of war are upon us, and the sea of enemies is vast. The memories of your past life will return to you over time, and with them your talents. At even levels, you will gain 1 talent point. Talent points will allow you to learn new skills and powers. The talent window is located on your escape menu. I'm breaking the fourth wall.
This is the talent tree.
You can press T to bring it up immediately. Open the talent window and spend your talent point now. Speak to me again when you're done.
The talent tree gets very extensive. And then And then when you get to this point, you can choose a specialization for a specific for your class. Let's see what else we have in the escape menu. Talent tree, passive, skill menu, crafting menu. Ooh, okay. I like this rotating texture here. That's a little bit new. They got that smoldering ashes and stuff too. Digimon World is moving to Unity? That's interesting. I like how this person's name is Filthy Casual. Social menu. I do not have... Ah, yes. I have this, I've been in this guild for a long time, but low-key, I don't think I'm probably gonna... I don't think I'll be active in it so much. A lot of people I used to speak to on voice chat just left. This map is very standard Unity fare. However, when people play this game, they would actually have this part like covered, understandably, because for the people who do actively stream snipe, which is now just only a select amount of players, they can stream snipe specific content creators and just snipe their team if they're coming from a specific part of the map. But because of the specific group of players who play this game now, it's not as how it's not as how you would expect it. Something I just realized, hold on. Something I just realized is not here anymore is one specific menu that I don't see. It's like the very passive talent menu, which I don't see anymore. Did they completely remove it? There's literally just this one talent tree. Maybe that's just for the sake of simplifying things. So here's the thing. They had a skill tree because this one is the regular talent tree, right? And then there's a gradually refilling unit over time set of skill trees that you can also use alongside your talents that benefits your overall account. It seems that they removed it. Interesting.
I am Sentinel of Earth. It is my secret task to protect this temple as long as it stands. When it falls, so too shall I. I have seen countless seasons pass and have wept as my brothers fall. The Hungered appear in the ether shortly after the death of Gaia, the Earth Mother. Not much is known about it except that it corrupts and consumes everything in its path. Entire realms are frozen, distorted, and devoured. You call them the Dying Worlds. Refugees from these dying worlds arrive in greater numbers each day. Agents of chaos tail them closely to take advantage of their plight. The protections offered us by the gods are waning. The ancient guardians like myself are too old and too few to defend the innocent from these new enemies. The people need new champions. They need the crows. The body may be new to you, but your spirit carries the memories of your past. You will need help to remember. Follow the compass at the top of your screen and find Brack Lion Shield, the guard captain. He could set you on the path to regaining your power.
Oh yeah, we can't run away from chaos. Okay, we are heading out more into crowded territory where the frame rates are starting to become really average right now. Like in a typical crowded MMORPG. Yeah, this is now MMO levels of, this is literally now MMO levels of frames right now. Kiba would know. Kiba is an experienced MMO player. Oh, hey, we finally have mounts here. I think I do have a mount as well, except that, I'll probably get the mount when Hey, there's a tiger mount. I'll finally get my own mount when if I decided to hop on one day on the live servers. But for now, I decided to be a centaur just because I have some level of mobility as a centaur. Is that a crow come up from the crypt? Oh, thank the gods. Another wave of refugees came through the rune gate last night. Rune gates? It's not RuneScape. They set up outside the temple walls with the others, but getting reports that the wolves have been harassing the refugee camp. The wolves get pushed out of the woods by bandits looking for an easy mark. We can barely keep the peace as it is without some snarly-faced hound getting mixed up in it. My guards are already stretched thin. You crows are meant to be natural warriors, aren't you? I'm sure that fresh body could do with breaking in. I doubt you woke up with any gold in those pockets. If you need to keep track of your quests, pull L to pull up your quest log. That way you can check your current task and even reread previous conversations. Help me out with the wolves and I'll pay you with a fair share. Head just outside the Gimple and kill shadow wolves. Ah, your typical obligatory kill a wolf quest. So there's open exploration. In a way, the aesthetics and vibe of this game is that it's kind of a combination of, I guess... I am not taking damage. This is fire and I'm not taking damage. What the heck? That just breaks the immersion. Kind of like Game of Thrones meets survival of The Walking Dead. But at the end of the day, it feels like an open environment meets Game of Thrones meets the aesthetics of Immortals Phoenix Rising meets well, at least they have they have a sky texture in, but it feels like a flat texture for some reason. Yeah, the texture feels kind of flat, but it's not the worst I've seen. I mean, I've obviously seen better, but I've certainly seen worse. And of course, when it comes to harvesting, we spend stamina, and our equipment is very... Oh, cool. They actually animated tree chopping down. We can actually get hurt by campfires. Campfires help us heal. That wolf is spazzing out. Alright, let's try a little bit of combat. Of course, there's some level of physics involved. And... interesting. You can attack me from far away? Okay, good. Wait, so I can't harvest from the body anymore? Or do I have to kill specific enemies in order to harvest from the body? Interesting. Let me bring up the crafting menu again. I need a basic knife. Hold on. Because not only can we mine rocks, but we can harvest from, like, we can harvest from animal bodies just like in Monster Hunter, in typical Monster Hunter games where you can salvage parts at the end of the hunt after you take down a monster. Oh, this is actually... that helps to break it down without spending so much stamina. In the UI right now, the green bar at the top left corner is my HP. I believe the red bar is my hunger meter, and the yellow bar is my stamina meter. Oh yes, this game has hunger. I feel like I literally can just, team up with Josh Strife Hayes if he actually really gets into this game. Because that guy, he recently just got YouTube, verified, partnered, whatever, and, I mean, kudos to him. There's only so much people on YouTube who can talk about MMORPGs nowadays because it's a very stagnant genre of gaming. It used to be like one of the top contenders of gaming back in the day when people pushed to make the newest, latest MMORPG. But nowadays, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are the top contenders. Now we have Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, and from Japan, the next one we're going to be getting is Blue Protocol, and I'm expecting Tower of Fantasy from China to be an MMO as well. Well, like I think it's going to be like a single-player RPG like Genshin Impact, but you can actually team up in multiplayer lobbies with more than 4 people. But it's not a, it doesn't look like to be a gotcha game though, so... Oh, I took fall damage. Out my hooves. Alright, let me just turn this in. Nicely done, Crow. That new body suits you. I'm impressed. It can take weeks or even months for crows to acclimate to a new vessel, but you're already shaking off the rust. The more time you spend on the world, the faster you reach your full potential. Killing monsters, completing quests, and sacrificing items to the gods, that's something we could do, are the best ways to gain experience. Ah, of course, we have the training points on our skills. You'll gain attribute points at odd levels. They can be spent to improve your core stats. Strength, dexterity, intelligence, spirit, and constitution. This shapes the body itself to suit your needs. Every mortal vessel you possess as a crow will have different starting stats. After that, it's up to you to decide which attributes you want to improve. Speaking of mortality, those wolf bites are still bleeding. Take these bandages. Use them to patch yourself up between fights. You can press K to arrange your consumables and powers. Click and drag consumable items into your preferred quick bar slot. Of course, we have to have a typical quick bar. I bet that fight worked up an appetite, yes? The growling from your stomach would put those wolves to shame. Welcome back to the world of the living. Now you can bleed and starve just like the rest of us. You know the tinkers up the road keep a community stew cooking. They're travelers that pick up quite a bit in the way of survival skills. Go speak to Samai Din. Tell her Captain Brack sent you. Okay, I think I'm healed. Okay, before we continue... Oh, it looks like my cursor can't be removed from the game yet, for some reason. Can I just go window mode? No, even in window mode, my cursor is stuck in the game for some weird reason. That is completely weird. I was playing the tutorial of this game before, but I'm guessing like every time it restarts, it sets you back in the beginning of the tutorial. Kind of weird, huh? I mean, I would expect it to be that way, pretty typical. Let's see, what do I want to get done for Monster Hunter Stories tonight? I mean, we might just do some more subquests. I do need to hunt another, I finally got a subquest in order to hunt a, whatchamacallit, a, Zynoger. Still one of my favorite designs to this very day. I do need Zynoger parts for my Zynoger weapon and armor, so that's fine. And since we also need to hunt down a Rathalos and an Azure Rathalos, and we got a nest for the both of them, that's just fine for me too. Okay, I think we should be good. How many? Okay, so I'm just gonna use the killing field for now. I'm gonna get up and stretch for a bit in the meantime. Hope y'all take care of this. Okay. Let's see here. I'm guessing you want the Buster, Kiva? If not, I'll just like randomize it. I'll just roll it.